Well, hey guys, it's Michael from eKids, and let's do our Advent. It's day 2. It's December the 2nd. So I guess we need to move, huh? So day 1 we had the apple because we learned about Adam and Eve, and so day 2 we have a rainbow. So let's see what this story's about. December the 2nd. It's a rainbow. We'll put our star. We'll put the star on top of the rainbow because that's where we are, so we don't lose track. Okay, so let's check it out. So yesterday we had story number 1, how it all began, where we learned about Adam and Eve, and today God starts over. The story of Noah from Genesis chapter 6 through 8. Well, let's read this together. Here we go. After Adam and Eve left the garden, time passed, and many people filled the earth. But the earth they lived on wasn't like the garden God had made for Adam and Eve. It was a tough earth with death and sadness and tears, and the people were tough too, and they didn't care for each other very well. In fact, they were downright mean. They didn't care about God either. But God was still there, watching, waiting. God was getting ready to make the wrong things right and the dark things light. Say that with me. I'll say it again. Let me read it again. God was getting ready to make the wrong things right and the dark things light. Wrong things right, dark things light. Wrong things right, dark things light. Okay. He started with a man named Noah. Unlike everyone else in those days, God was with Noah, so when God had something to say, Noah listened. Noah, God said, it breaks my heart to see how mean and hateful everyone is to each other. With all this hate, I can't come to be with my people, so I'm sending a storm to wash away all the hate. I'm going to start over. It's not going to be easy, but if you listen to what I say, I'll be with you and you'll be okay. This was the plan. God told Noah to build a really big boat. Except he didn't call it a boat. He called it an ark. Noah didn't know anything about building boats, which could have been a big problem. Luckily, God told him exactly what he needed to do. And Noah trusted God. God told Noah to put his family on the ark. Then God sent Noah all the animals too. What's your favorite animal? Well, you know what? That animal's on the ark. After Noah got all of the animals and all of his family on the ark, he waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. He began to wonder if he had heard God right. The sun was shining. All of Noah's neighbors were off at their jobs like normal. But then, one day, the sky got dark. God shut the big door on the ark, and he opened the big windows of heaven, and rain came pouring down like no one had ever seen. It came up out of the ground, too. In a flash, water was everywhere. And there was no time for anyone else to build an ark or a boat or even a little raft. The whole world was flooded. Noah and his family were on the ark, scared and lonely. They waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. But even though they felt lonely, Noah and his family weren't alone. God was with them. For 40 long days and 40 long nights, God kept the ark floating safely on the water, just as safely as if the ark was in God's own hands. Noah almost lost track of the days. But then, One day, the sun came back. Some days later, Noah sent out a dove. And it came back with a leaf. A leaf? Do you know what that means? Leaves grow on branches, and branches grow on trees, and trees grow on solid ground, not in the water. The floodwaters were going away. And soon enough, God guided Noah's ark to a little patch of land on top of a mountain. He opened the door back up, and Noah's whole family came out, kissing the ground because they were so happy to see it again. God was faithful to Noah. Even when it was hard, even when it rained for 40 days straight, even when he waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited, God was with Noah. God had started over just like he promised, and Noah thanked God for rescuing him and his family. But he also knew the beginning wouldn't be enough. Why? Well, because Noah wasn't perfect. And the new beginning would go bad again soon. God had cleaned the earth of sin, but that sin was still in Noah's heart. So, even after the flood, God seemed far away. So Noah and his family began to hope and pray. God, will you come back to stay? You can see it there. Okay, so guys, real quick. The first two stories that we've learned have been difficult, right? Because we have learned that Adam and Eve, well, they messed up, didn't they? And they needed God to stay. We see that the whole world messed up. And a lot of people died, right? But Noah, he and his family survived, but they even had sin in their lives, and they would even mess up. And boy, these stories sound really dark, don't they? You know, when I think about the darkness, well, let's see. Let's take a look at the darkness. How about this? Whoa! It just got dark. You can't even see me, right? Well, since you can't see me and you're looking at the screen like, well, where's Michael? And I just want the light. When you're in the darkness, all you want is the light. Well, God is the light. With God, we can see. So when you have the darkness, we long for the light. Just like, now let me turn the real light back on. Just like how without God, it's darkness. Without God, we long for God. We long for the light. Well, that's what Jesus is. Jesus is the light. And so the whole point of Christmas is remembering how it must have felt to wait for Jesus, to long for Jesus to come. And so Adam and Eve and Noah, boy, they needed more of the light. They needed more of God, and so do we. So that's it today, guys. I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. For now, bye.